please. Everybody rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bow your heads for a moment. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the gift of rain last night. It was much needed. Thank you for our communities. Thank you for the people that are willing to work for our communities. Please watch over this group of people. Please watch over people's health. In your name we pray. Amen. Reading the approved minutes of June 2nd.
Motion to approve and suspend readings.
Motion by Hack. Discussion. Second by Folkerts. Discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Approval of the agenda. See, we got some pieces of paper on the table here.
Yeah, so I was going to say, look at the paper, not the board, because I forgot to upload the new one.
Okay.
Motion to approve agenda as presented.
Motion by Hack. Second by Stern. Discussion.
So, sorry, you just added in the Western Steel paperwork and,
And the transfer.
okay,
And, yeah.
gotcha.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. More engineering is up, who's now working for Beulah too.
Yeah, thank you. We were, let's see, 2 weeks ago, we were hired by Beulah to do some work. They don't have any construction projects going on this summer. This is 80 Kelly. We're going to Beulah next, I guess. On a normal monthly basis, we plan to come to your meeting. We'll have to leave about 10 after 6 to get to their meeting. We have lots of staff, I don't see any reason why we won't be able to get, lots of the work done in both places. They have a design project going on for the rest of the year we'll be working on, but like I said, no construction, and so we'll just sort it out after that, but if you don't mind, we'll sneak out about 6:10.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll do a good job of both of you.
You'll find that we are better than them.
I don't think I can comment on that. Yeah. Okay, all right, so, Expedition Estates, subdivision, I guess paving down out there, obviously they have lots of work to do if you've driven through there. They're yet to do the black dirt and grading and seeding and finish things up, but there's a nice black paving loop around there. I don't have a plan of action from them to finish 11th Street going north out of there. There's obviously still sewer problems there. I've tried to get a hold of William here the last couple of days. Has not been back from him, but the ball's still in their court. You're not issuing building permits at the moment until they get the rest of that work finished, and I'm sure that is aggravating them. So I would hope that it's in their court, they'll come back pretty quickly with a plan.
Monty, you hear anything from Daryl?
No.
Yeah.
Let's see, alley in the parking lot behind Union Bank. Winkler may have fixed up those spots today. They had a punch list of a couple minor things to do. They mentioned that he was getting some gravel from them to do that. Once that job is done, then we'll recommend final payment. Does have to get finished this summer because those specials are gonna get finalized, have to get finalized in July and August to be on the tax, or to get finalized in the county by October, so. No update, not worried about that. Those are minor repairs, but still staying on our list until we agree that they're done. Sanitary sewer improvement project. You remember this project kind of entails three parts. There's spot repairs, there's the lining of the sewer mains, and then there's the lining of the manholes up in that area. So CC Steel, general contractor, has TAN doing those spot repairs for them. They're doing their own televising and spot repairs right now. Once that's done, then they will do the rest of that trenchless work. I don't know the schedule on the paving. There's those 10 spots that have to get patched and fixed. I would just assume let them sit for a while myself. I'm sure the residents would probably like to see them paved and put back, but it's going to be a while. Hopefully, air and let them sit longer than what the people would like. So if you get complaints, the longer we get them, let them sit, the better generally. So
it's like compaction and stuff.
yep. When we do long stretches of roadway or long pieces of pipe, usually we can drive equipment down the ramp and pack that stuff in really well. When you do small little spots, and you're packing it with a bucket or a little vibratory machine or a remote control something, you just can't get a payloader in there to pack things. So I worry more about compaction on those things than on long roadways. So they're probably going to be higher probability of settlement. So the longer we let them sit, the better. Okay, I guess at this point, I have pay application number 1 for CC Steel. It's up on the board. I can continue to answer questions on the job. We're having weekly construction meetings. I'm not certain of the level of dust and noise and debris. I mean, I would expect some after a rainstorm like today, but the point of those weekly construction meetings is to address that stuff. The erosion control, the need for staking, the compaction results, whatever the general needs are. And I've heard Grant on the phone during those meetings, and I believe things are getting taken care of in a timely fashion, but there will always be some disruption from these projects. So this is pay application number 1. Kind of see the total contract value is 2.2 million. They've done less than 15% of the project by contract, so contracts are front loaded a little bit, mobilization, road control, traffic control, and like I said, we went down to spot repairs. So I do recommend approval of payment number 1. You can kind of see we're still holding 10%. So they've applied for $360,000. We're holding 10% until they get to 100% complete. We'll do a final inspection, acceptance for payment, and that's when we release the last 10% retainage to the contractor. So, any questions?
I was just curious about that scope of change, or I guess you guys were just wondering about, I guess last week or week before. There's a manhole or something, like
There's another manhole we have, we were second, and then there was a utility drill through the sewer line on Third Avenue, south of where they were, so that it was a requested to do a field order change.
Okay. I'm not aware of it. There's 2 ways to do that. We issue a field order directing the contractor to do those things, and if they're all based on unit prices, like length of pipe and pavement, and they agree to honor their prices, then it's just a matter of me calculating what all those things are, and we just pay them for the work. So if it's, I would assume it's that, Casey. I don't know, like, I would like to bring, you can issue a field order, and then once they do it, then we know the exact quantities we're paying for it. Did Grant give you an idea of what the estimate was?
He was looking for last week.
Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know about that. But if you want it done, now's the time to do it here. But if it's a matter of adding one manhole, I would expect, whatever that cost is, and then whatever the miscellaneous for spot repairs. But we won't pay for that yet. Payment number one will pay for the work they've done. The change order will actually change the contract amount, 2.2 up, 20 grand, 40 grand, or whatever it is. We'll pay for it. So we'll change the contract and then we'll pay for it after the work is done. They haven't done the work yet, have they?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they should have.
Well, it sounded like it needed to be done like right now.
Okay.
Not that I wanted to know more about it, but never heard anything back, so.
Okay. It must not have gotten on our agenda here for today for some reason.
Was there any more issues with, I don't think there was, Dave and I've talked a couple different times with sewer going back into businesses or?
I know that one week they had some issues.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was 4 or 5 spots that.
But I know now they're forewarning.
Yes, yeah, I haven't had any calls or any concerns, I'm assuming they were notifying people that there's a possibility and told what they could do to kind of keep it to a minimum.
I don't know how often it happens, it does happen, I've had it happen. Contractor will go help them clean it up, and then he pretty much just tell you, keep your toilet seat closed and set something heavy on top of it, put some towels down. It can happen, it's not supposed to happen, but.
Right. Right.
Okay, so contractually, there's a couple different things we can order or do. We're directing the contractor to do it in this case. So a field order is one thing, a work change directive is another, and then a change order is pretty damn close. But this is a work change directive, so it looks like it directs the contractor to add a spot repair at 3rd Avenue between manhole S103 and 104, and to repair the bench and invert in manhole S123 on Expansion Drive. So the cost of that work is $16,837.25. My engineer signed it, and it is seeking your approval if you want that work added.
I was just curious, on the boring there. It must be then, I guess, new.
Sanitary sewer main pipe must be replaced. The utility line board through the sanitary sewer pipe must be relocated. There's just, if you remember, we had like 50 blocks televised, and then we did rely on a little bit of old televising on a few of the blocks. So I'm guessing it's new since that previous televising was done.
Okay. And I was curious, if you have, I guess, a photo, I guess, is that the damaged area, or whatever.
I will find you one.
Okay.
I'll try and send it tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the manhole deal, I guess, what's the bench, what's all that mean?
So when you got the, sometimes a pipe will actually flow all the way through a manhole. And sometimes you get the manhole and the pipe ends on either side. And the bench is the poured in place, and you've got an invert or a trough for that water to go through. And so somehow, when I see bench, I mean, something broke off and it's either blocking the flow, or it's a dip, or making flow go backwards or something. So they need is jackhammering out around that trough and re-pouring the trough in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To a point that probably, assuming it broke off, went down into that trough.
Yeah.
Or assuming,
Key contracting CC Steel, he has done this for you a lot in the last few years, but they didn't get it. CC Steel is doing this one because they got the bid. They'll just jackhammer that out, block the sewer flow, pour it in there with some high strength concrete, and open it up the next day, and it should take care of it. It's very labor intensive stuff, but I'll see if I can find photos of that too. Sorry, I'm sorry I didn't have this for you guys. He has the signed plans of the locations and then the cost for it, but
Is it something that can wait till next meeting? Or-
I just know, I think you should move on it now, if you want it done.
Okay, you guys want to do pay estimate number one now, or wait till the end of Jared's chat?
I want you to approve payment number one and work change directive number one. And I don't care when in order, and I don't care if it's at the end of the meeting or not, but those are two I'm recommending approval on.
Make a motion that we approve pay estimate number one for the $324,053.77.
Second.
Motion by Hack, second by Folkerts. Discussion.
So is this motion, then I guess, only for the pay estimate?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to digest in a few minutes or.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Hack,
Aye.
Folker,
Aye.
Stern,
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye. Motion carried.
And then do you want this work done with the work change directive to add the spot repair and the manhole? That would be work change directive, and the amount is $16,837.25.
So if we don't do it now, and we have some issues with it, factories flow up into houses or businesses, and we have to have them come back and
Yeah.
work on just one.
The bench part of this probably could wait, because they're not gonna do that for a while, but the spot repair, Tan's here doing spot repairs right now, so you would pay remobilization to Tan if you don't wanna tell them to do it now.
And that's the 16,000 and change.
Yeah.
The 16,000 change includes both poles.
Poles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then on the lining, like part of it, then I guess why can't they,
Line thread.
yeah, they can just line over.
If the pipe is like this and there's a line through it, they need to dig it up, they need to move whatever's in the way that's blocking the pipe, repair that spot, and then they can line through it.
Okay, so the line is going through it, is that what we're saying? There's a line that's
According to the note here, and
intersecting. Oh,
Yeah, my understanding was the utility board almost right through the middle of the sewer line, and it's still in there.
there's probably an opportunity to try and collect on that utility.
I was just gonna say, okay.
After the fact, yeah.
And it is a live utility? Do we know that? We
No,
don't.
it said that it's not used or something, or it's dead, or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I guess I would agree with that as well, to go to utilities and,
Hey,
yeah, why is this,
that's not where this goes.
I think they would be, if it was West River, they've been pretty cooperative, I think, in the past on this
Yeah.
stuff. I don't know who it was though.
I'm not sure who it was on
You
Move
guys
to
know,
approve
Or change directive.
from the work check,
okay, motion by Stern,
second,
second by Hack. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Stern,
yeah. Aye.
Hack,
aye,
Folker, Omenauer.
Aye. Motion carried.
Couple just little miscellaneous things. I do anticipate DOT Flex Fund applications coming out here this summer. I'm guessing July or August. I don't know for certain, but we could talk more about that when that happens, but just legislature met, I think they got 20 or 40 million available to cities. Eula, for instance, is using, they're getting like 1.2 million to do some stuff downtown. It's engineering for their phase 2 design project, but Regent is doing a downtown thing. Napoleon got some for a trail, but watch for that. I think we should just consult the capital improvement plan, look at your projects and look at your, what might score the best according to the criteria when it comes out. But nothing to decide tonight, but I guess please just be watching for that one. See that as an opportunity here coming up. Otherwise, Monty, there's a couple little things we could probably try and get quotes on. If you want me to talk about any of those, or just bring quotes to the meeting.
Let's get quotes first. Okay.
Little minor spot repair things that we kind of talk about, get some quotes, but I'll bring those to you and you guys can decide on those things. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, moving on. Request of citizens local permit raffle, St. Martin's Church. And, yeah,
Your annual raffle, as I said in the notes, I will get the state will want a listing of what exactly all the prizes are, not just total, so I will get that from them before I send it.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve this contingent upon reaching that list.
Okay, motion by Folkerts,
Second.
second by Stern. Discussion. Roll call, I'm sorry, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right, Jack Schwab's alley. I know every time it rains, it doesn't matter if we have crushed asphalt in there, it doesn't matter if it's just, I don't know how many times he's had his own machine out there cleaning up. And it runs down into the valley gutter and I don't know what the plan is.
I know Jared took a look at it today when he came.
Jared, what's the solution other than I know what you're gonna say, yeah. Spend money, yeah. How about a French drain and we, I don't know, yeah, what do you got for us?
Concrete would be the best, asphalt would be the second best. I think that's tricky. The other thing we looked at was putting, could we put a swale or a ditch on either side? Not really. It's not gonna work very well. I think you either have to keep doing what you're doing with, don't do gravel. I think crushed asphalt would be better. Crushed concrete or some rock would probably be the best. You can stomach that bill. Otherwise, the permanent solution is paving. You guys know that.
How far up could we go? First, it's not an alley, right? Is it, or is it, it's an easement?
And Dave said at one point it was platted as a street.
There's these giant power lines that go right down.
But yeah, it is a power easement, yeah.
Yeah.
Gravel will be bad. Crushed asphalt will be better. An expensive rock or crushed concrete would be better, but asphalt and concrete, it just sucks.
Because it's a full 75 feet wide because of the easement.
And you're right, all of the gravel and stuff that you try to put in there is all washed down into the park to the rest of there. But if you gotta do it,
Get us some pricing on both and then we'll evaluate. It's hard for me to stomach. And then do you, I don't know who pays for it. I don't know.
I think it's, yeah, that's it.
I know before Jack concreted that driveway, built that garage, it was from my vision, it was a more steeper incline, and there was water ruts that the water would travel down, so it wouldn't come across his dirt driveway or gravel driveway or whatever he had. And then when he poured it clear to the street, now we've got an issue.
So you think a normal gravel road, it's crowned like this, so you've got ditches on both sides, we don't have room for that, so we're looking at an inverted crown, right? And you can't drain water across gravel in inverted crown. The ones we do in Mandan that have these kind of slopes, we have to pave them all because they wash out. So
Right.
we could just shape it up and then you can do it with thin layer of asphalt over it. It doesn't have to be a full-blown
His
street.
driveway used to, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, it wasn't concrete and clear to the street, was it? Or am I dreaming that?
I don't remember.
I thought it was only partially down.
I remember.
That's just a really crappy part of drainage part of town. It drains from 1, 2, 3, 8 different ways into one area.
Into the ball field.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know who would benefit from it. I'll just get you the quote and then go from there. Okay. And how about I say to the top of the hill, you know, some logical spot.
Yeah.
There. Okay.
That's a long hill.
It is a long hill. Okay, well, it's not meant to be a full-blown road for construction traffic. It will just be paved like an alley, 3 inches asphalt and be done.
And those people use it a lot. That alley, or that access gets used a ton.
But just as far as victims.
Was that
The property owners or the utility company?
just the property owners?
Yeah. I know one resident said don't live there anymore. There's a detached double garage that faces the
Access from the alley.
yes. I think both sides of that easement use it a lot.
Okay, well, I'll get the quote, I guess. The other question about benefit and stuff like that, I'm not gonna answer. Nothing's straightforward. It's
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
7A, second reading and action on fireworks ordinance, chapter 9, article 5. That we changed, I believe, jail time.
Yeah, out of that in prison.
Yep. So, board, any other changes, or you want to have our second reading? I think it's time for the second reading. Be done.
Move to approve.
Motion by Stern,
Second.
second by Hack. Discussion.
So the only thing that's different is just like the jail term.
Was that under the 9.0503 Monty, or what? I don't remember what that was
It
under.
was under the penalty section here where we changed it from 500 to 1,000 or by imprisonment not to exceed, so now it just stops after the 1,000.
Yeah, not more than 1,000 period.
Yes.
Yep.
And then two, I guess, open the public road.
Yeah. This first section of the penalty was added for the first reading, and the fact that public roadways was stricken from the first reading.
Motion by Hack. Any more discussion? You all right, Jesse?
What's that?
You okay with it?
Yeah.
Right.
Should be fine.
Okay, roll call.
Stern,
Aye.
Hack,
I,
Folker,
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye. Motion carried. Approval of applications for building permits. 8A, building permit for AT&T tower improvements.
Just replacing some equipment on the tower where the old water tower used to be. I sent this information with all of their engineer drawings and everything too. More engineering, they reviewed it. And as I stated in the notes, the biggest concern was any excess noise that could be created, and I was assured that there would be no additional noise created from the new equipment.
Like audible noise or like?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So they just ran that building down there, or?
No, they're doing antennas
Oh, okay.
up on the tower, so.
Similar, but modernized to what was in the old
Yeah.
water tower.
Those are-
What would the board like to do?
There you go.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve by Stern,
Second.
second by Hack. Discussion.
So Monty, I guess, even though that we get rent, then I guess it's based on that lot, right? It's not like based on.
No, it's not based on the equipment or anything, we have a long-term lease with them that has been renegotiated several times.
So we just lease the property to them and it's their tower or anything?
Yeah.
So there's nothing else for their property?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Stern.
Aye.
Hack. Folker. Omenauer.
Aye, motion carried. 8B, fireworks sales permit, property rental agreement, memory fireworks. And they're putting signs in the front of the waterworks building as we speak.
You know, there was a little surprise when they showed up today, they were gonna clean up the building so they could start bringing materials, even though they don't have a rental agreement yet.
Par for the course for the last 4 years. It's crazy. It's a good spot, it's a good spot though. And then Myra's gonna sell it to him after that.
Good, right? Except I'm not a realtor anymore. But I can give them a flex space.
Nothing's changed on the agreement at all, Monty, just a plug and play.
Now, from the old agreement that I found, I just basically took it verbatim, changed some of the dates and raised the fee.
So on the fee there, I guess when we last rented, I guess, the water, or not water.
The arm.
Yeah, there you go, yeah. So I was just curious as what that fee was.
$1,000.
$1,000.
Yeah, for the same time period of month.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Hack,
Second.
second by Stern. Discussion.
Have we got any more fireworks people in town this year, or no, just them?
Is that the Beulah people?
No, they're actually not visiting.
Oh, I thought Planet were gonna do it. Okay.
I don't know who's gonna be actually on site, I
Sure.
don't know for
Okay.
sure. The company, I was there.
Okay, any more discussion? Roll call.
Hack.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Folker. Omenauer.
Aye, motion carried. 8C, transient immersion permit license, Southwestern Advantage.
This is the same company that has had different people come in over the years. If you remember a couple of years back, or can't think of his name now. There was another gentleman, they go door to door selling educational items. They did complete all the documents, submitted a bond. The only thing that we would have to discuss would be their $25 per day fee, how many days they're gonna be here. He was gonna give me a schedule once he knew if there was approval and when they would look to come.
Sounds good.
What are they selling in Montana?
It's all
Educational.
educational material, books and there's the bond, and then they are licensed in the state. Right here is Mr. Cutts. Licensure with the, for transit working with the state of North Dakota.
We have never had any issues with these guys. Pretty much up to some.
Yeah, they're very well received.
Motion approved.
Motion by Hack,
Second.
second by Folkerts, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. 8E, commercial, no, I'm sorry, 8D. Commercial building permit, JF Fair, Western Steel Building is doing the project. This goes for 2 weeks, apparently.
Austin brought us in this afternoon, they are gonna do some structural stuff on the north side of the building. I'm sure they listed several options for what they're going to do. I'm sure which option they're gonna go with yet, but since it is a commercial building, I advised him that he should have a building permit to do this work. Overall footprint and the interior layout of the building will all remain the same, it's all just structural work on the exterior wall.
That they started working on?
Yeah. There's no easements, there's no, there, not for anything else for, not a big deal, no variances.
No.
Yeah.
Motion approved.
Motion by Hack,
Second.
second by Folkerts, discussion. Roll call.
Hack,
Aye.
Folker, Stern,
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye, motion carried, thank you. 8E, commercial building permit, for Hazen Park and Rec, Western Steel Builders is doing this as well.
Yeah, Hazen Parks and Rec applied for and received a land and water grant to replace the bathrooms in North Star 2. Their deadline to have this work done is October 31st. The actual structure will be done by Western Steel Builders.
Is it going in the same area?
They'll be in the same location, they'll remove the other one and replace it with this structure.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
Motion approved.
Motion by Folkerts,
Second.
second by Stern, discussion. Roll call.
Folker,
Aye.
Stern,
Aye.
Hack,
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye, motion carried. County reports. 9A, water sewer.
The garbage truck, now I guess, in the cylinder, now is bad in the compactor there. It's going at the welding shop right now. Maybe it'll be done, I guess, by the end of this week. I guess we'll see if we can get the parts in.
I just got a text coming, the parts should be here tomorrow.
Okay, great.
So hopefully by the end of the day, if everything goes well, maybe.
Good.
Does that have 2 cylinders or just the one main?
It's, one of the carrier cylinders, one of the bigger cylinders in the truck.
Anything else, Casey?
So then I guess with that, then I would like to approve, that we spend, I guess, no more than $2,500.
Okay. We have a motion by Stern,
Second.
second by Hack. Discussion. Is that a quote you got from Coy?
No,
25? Okay.
no, it's just what it is we had thought, and it should be able to cover.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even think it'll be that, but
Okay.
I'm safe.
Okay. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Stern.
Aye.
Hack.
Aye.
Folkerts.
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye, motion carried. Anything else, Casey?
No, that's all I got.
Thanks.
How's the truck running with the new tranny and good?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. It's working good and stuff,
That's the truck with the leaky cylinder,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
maybe you got to use it when we got it back as well.
yeah, 3 days, I think they use it for 3 or 4 days. So,
Whoa. Street cemetery.
Really the only thing we got on there is load specs that Dave, gave to Monty. We all saw that in our email. That Dave got it picked out and wants to go to the pavement with it.
How many different brands?
I talked to John Deere, Cat, Case, Hyundai, and Komatsu.
Okay.
I've had some correspondence with four of them, one hasn't gotten back to me.
Part of that spec is whoever we go with, our attachments will meet up with, correct, Dave?
What's that?
The attachments that we have are all made up with.
Right, yeah, the spectrum there, that the quick attach has to match what we have now.
Okay, so if we go to the street with this, this would be an expenditure that comes out of,
We're trying to set it up so that we'll receive the bids early August with delivery and invoice in 2026.
okay,
So that they have time to put it into the budget for next year.
okay. Sounds good. Did any talk about trading values or anything, got it?
When it got closer to hitting the streets, a couple of them said they wanted to come up and check out the machine and then, give a price on it.
Okay, thank you,
But I
Dave.
told them that we might trade in or sell outright or whatever, that it's,
Yeah,
we want to bid that way.
Other than that, there's nothing else that you got, Dave, is there?
Nope.
Oh! I know you talked to me, was that last week on that mower again?
Oh,
What did you find out?
he ordered Gulf rubber gaskets, he's adjusting the valves, for some reason the valve adjustment keeps changing on it, so holding the valve open, he readjusted and the compressor came back. So he's gonna put it back together and it should be good to go again.
It's the same.
Don't have any answer on why it's doing what it's doing, but
is that which, one is that, the older one or the
the
newer one?
older one, I think it's a 2016, so I don't know if a guy would wanna start maybe looking to replace that one next year or
That is the same one that we took,
down
the
there.
motor locked up.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Probably maybe something to start looking into for, we can squeeze it in next year.
I can get the ball rolling on that, get some specs put together or whatever, see if we can bids that kind of equipment.
Okay. Anything else, Jason or Dave?
Been doing a little bit of tree work and we got, probably half a dozen or a dozen stumps to grind or whatever, and as soon as it dries out again, we'll get back on that. We've done about a half a dozen so far, so.
Those stumps down at the corner by Jensen's, we'll wait until the concrete's out.
Yeah, we can't get down until the concrete's removed.
And I did get a hold of Larry at Groundhog, their canopy is supposed to ship June 27th.
Okay,
So I shared that with, Meister Contracting as well.
okay, thank you. All right, Casey, do you?
Oh,
Finance busing.
Okay. Monty, I'm gonna rely on you to help me through some of this. Okay, so with the busing, I don't know if everybody's aware, but because our transit program is funded partly through a federal program, we have to operate within the constraints of that federal program. One of those constraints are they don't want us using any of the federal funded property for busing kids. That includes obviously the vehicles that, the buses that we were using can't be used, and if we were to, well, just let me back up. So pretty much everything, all the property that we have, the building, all the vehicles, the feds have partial interest in. So they're not moving at all on any kind of exemption like they used to give us. They used to let us phone application to be exempt to that particular constraint in this program. They're no longer wanting to do that. Basically what that ends up creating is a problem with, do you recall how many school kids we ended up last year? I know it's been increasing.
Yeah, they were up to, I want to say 96 or just over 100 rides per day.
Yeah.
So 95% of our usage.
Yeah.
And yeah, the community is, and the thing with the school busing is, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, but it sounds like it's, I don't know if it's not feasible or if it's just something that they don't want to work out, but Harlow's isn't, that sounds like Harlow's isn't interested in doing a route in town. So that leaves that up in the air, the way it sits like that. So we have the ability to purchase the buses and things that we have outright. And we have just 3 buses altogether. One of the buses, there's a 2013, a 2015, and a 2017. If we were to purchase the 2017 and 2015, we're looking at something in the order of, and I could have sworn at this time. Yeah, $22,967. But if we were to purchase these buses, so we could provide, busing for these kids to get to school every morning, then we'd have to park those outside because the building is partially owned by the feds. So we're into that issue. So I think providing the service to bus these kids back and forth to school is pretty crucial for our community. I don't know, to the point where I would entertain the idea of potentially just buying everything, seeing what we can do to buy the building, because there's some, we're not sure if they want an appraisal for sure, or if we can go off of some other kind of data. They do want an appraisal for sure. Okay, do we go forth with the appraisal, see what they're asking, or what we need to be paying for that building, and basically create our own city-owned department for busing, so that way we can have the ability to not only show kids back and forth to school, but I think that could potentially open up opportunities to provide further services to our community too. But this is something that has, obviously school's coming up, and I think it's something that needs to be addressed now.
How do we afford it? How much did the feds pay over last year for us?
Well, they pay 50%, so we're right around 87,000, somewhere in that neighborhood that we received from the federal government. We would still be eligible for 50% of operating funds to haul the school routes. We just can't use the federally funded vehicles or facilities.
That, and we trust the 2015, 2017 buses for 3 years maybe, to the last.
That's part of it too, yeah.
Transmissions and engines and tires, and the building's a gem. The building's awesome.
Yeah, so I guess I'm looking for input, suggestions, and, the bottom line is, I don't know. I think it's important to be able to figure out a way that we can get these kids to school,
I agree.
because there's a lot of them.
There's gonna be more.
Yes. purchase these two, try and purchase these two vehicles and see how things go and play it by ear, and who knows, we might be able to come up with funding to get a new, but like, I don't know how.
And then salaries, does the feds pay half salaries?
That's part of the 50%.
So that was part of that 87,000.
We would then expect to lose that Malcolm, is that what you're saying? We'd lose?
No, we would still get the 50% operating, but for the vehicles that we own, we would still get 50% operating. The only thing would be, like you said, as they get older and you need to replace them, the new buses are running just under 200,000 now, so that would be an issue when these wear out.
All the maintenance, tires and what have you, that was federally funded as well.
Well, it's still 50-50.
Yeah,
That's always been 50-50.
so it would still be,
We could still get up to 80,000, yeah. But that's still only half the cost, the rest has to be.
that
And
was,
quite honestly, last year busing was in the hole.
It was,
We ended up using some general funds to balance it.
And at the same time, if we were to purchase these buses, we could utilize them to, like I said, provide other services in the community that might offset.
have we been still transporting, you know, I know we had Prairie Nights people, we've had the doctoring people. Have we been able to do all those different things up till right now?
And we can still do those things.
Right. It isn't that they've cut us off and we've been able to not, haven't been able to do those. We still have been able to do everything that we've done. And
Yeah.
Including like shovel rides to, like for instance, if there's an event here, we can still be hired out to like shuttle people back and forth.
That would still fall under the charter.
Okay.
And we have done charter notice so that we can do special trips, the baseball trips, the ECC trips, and those types of things. The casino and Medora, those were all advertised, so they were open to the public, so they were fine using the federal equipment.
so those wouldn't be able to be run under the charter, correct?
They don't need to be run under the
They don't
charter.
need to be.
what do we charge our family now to bus kids?
It's $1 a trip, $2 a day for round trip. We'd have to take a good hard look at that.
I was gonna say that'd be double, at least, or more, right?
Yeah.
Or like lunch tickets, old time, we used to punch lunch tickets and, I don't know, huh?
Well, I don't.
It's essential, I don't know if it's essential, but it's a service that we hope we can provide, you know?
When we moved here in 2011, you guys, it was under, I want to say it was under 75 cents. I remember saying to who was on the board then, that's absolutely crazy. I would pay $1 more for my kids to have that service to
Yeah.
go to and fro.
Mhm.
And that's been what, 10, yeah. So I don't know if anybody's gonna block it.
And
That way,
it's
or triple it.
well, to your point, I don't think many, maybe,
It could be interesting because you have some families with 3 or 4 kids. So you triple it, now they go from $8 a day to $24 a day.
it does compound.
Yeah.
And you could put a max limit on that too, but.
I see ways that I would have to look at similar to school lunches where you'd have to see if there's something, or even approach the school if they would cover some of the funding portion of this.
And then, staying a shot, are there any other federal programs that would more align with the services that we need to provide to our
Not
community?
for transportation.
Okay.
Is there any other
Yeah.
boost, not Bison boosters, but I don't know what, I know I always heard the baseball boosters, but I don't even really know what that all entail. I really don't know. Is there anybody else that would throw in on that? I don't know.
Until you ask me, I don't know.
We'd have to also hit the industries and try to get money from Basin, Toad,
Yeah,
to help offset. There's a lot of kids, a lot of parents that work with those places.
yeah.
Do we have a database, Monty, of who rode the bus this past year? And could we maybe get out a flyer or a questionnaire saying either we have busing or we may have to bump to these prices, and so are you willing to pay that, or?
We've got all the ridership down, yeah.
Okay.
we can-
I think we need to get maybe a questionnaire put together like that, so we can get some feedback from the community.
But basically, yeah, I think it'd be important to explain in that too, like one of the bullet points is the fact that, you know, this is a federally funded program that we were giving exemptions for. They no longer want to provide that exemption, so it's either, yeah, we increase the fee or we can't do it.
To help offset.
Yeah, increase the fee to offset what the federal program paid.
Even have a town hall meeting of some sort, or public meeting, yeah. Beulah Transit doesn't want it?
What's that?
Beulah Transit,
I think that's one.
okay.
No.
Could you guys approach Hazen Water Sports for some of that, maybe?
We could, yeah, or grant money, yeah.
The other thing is I don't remember when the school has their board meetings, get on the agenda, like now,
Yeah,
and talk to them about it.
yeah.
Because essentially, every kid that is getting bused, 95-ish% or more are going to school.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll see what I can get with that.
That'd be good. Okay, any other brainstorm suggestions? Okay, we'll move on to,
I still have one more thing with the library.
I'm sorry, Chuck.
Just don't let it happen again.
Sir.
For the library, I just need to make it a point to kind of put it out there in public as far as the library, the use of the property and that kind of stuff. It's kind of starting to turn into a hindrance. People, I don't know where it came from, but there's been people who had just like, for instance, assumed that they could use the electricity of the library from the library at plug-in and, or for different events and stuff like that, just set up in front of the library for whatever event it may be, basically without consulting anybody from the library. And it's just been kind of this perpetual thing that, I mean, it's ultimately, it's causing some issues with the ability to run the library efficiently. Whether it be somebody set up in front and it's causing issues with people coming in and out. I just don't want anything to happen to anybody on library property, especially if they're unaware of it, because if somebody were to get injured during one of those events that they set up for in front of the library without talking to anybody, where does that liability fall as far as injury goes? Utilizing the utilities, obviously that has a cost to it. They're only given a certain amount of money a year. A lot of it's grant funded. They have to operate within those budgets. And I mean, it might be peanuts by just plugging in for an hour or two, but
We may have to put a little placard saying, not, you know.
they're currently locked out. They're locked out, but it's just, that was just an example. There's more to it. It's just a continual, it's almost as if people are, what's the right word? I don't know if entitled, it seems like this is probably a strong word for it, but like entitled to the use of the property because it's public. And maybe it's just over time because people have done it. It just kind of became this normal thing and people just assume that they can continue to do that. However, that's not the case. And the thing is, if somebody were to just talk to Cindy, the director, and get it set up, she's community oriented, so like she will have no problem making it work for somebody if they need or would like to use the library's property for anything.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just the fact that she's never given a heads up. She just comes out and all of a sudden there's like, oh, somebody's setting up in the front of the library with whatever it is that they have going, or somebody coming to her, hey, why is there a lock on this outlet? And then getting all miffed when she says like she doesn't have access or the ability to give them access to it. You'll have to find a way to plug in for electricity elsewhere.
There's lots, yeah.
I mean, it's just a thing that's ongoing that I just want to put it out as a public announcement in this meeting, like, just because it's the library, it doesn't mean that everybody has free reign to access all of it for any reason. And again, you just work it out with Cindy, she'll make it work if it can work. Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Police, what do you guys got going on?
Obviously nothing, we're sitting here.
I mean, some stuff's back here, you know, calls from service. We had over 500 calls each, you know.
Wow.
Trying hard to get the riffraff out of here, but Jesse's still here, he doesn't understand the rules of public meeting. That sounds like a new guy, John, but he's in the academy. So. You know, Officer Sam Albert, she chased a herd of baby seals out of the sewage ponds, so good for her. The truck, apparently it's all done. Got it pulled back. They're, I guess, programming the fogs. I wasn't aware that this was a huge deal.
Okay.
That was last Tuesday, I got that email, so I'm hoping to hear something this week. They're gonna send pictures or videos. All the lights working, everything open and the inside so that we can look at it and prove it. And then once that's approved, I guess it's on the road to us.
You might want a ribbon cutting and cake and everything, that's what I'm
Going
going
as
to
well.
Oh, this is fast for
Might as well.
like they are very fast.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Anything else, Chief?
Can't think of anything right offhand.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks, guys. Myra, HCD.
We aren't getting many calls on that building anymore.
Hmm.
I sometimes wonder if we need to hire, and I'm gonna visit with the board about hiring some publicity firm to let them know what we had here outside the area with talent coming in, but we'll see what they say. I don't know that Heather is getting a lot of playback. Monty, she would be calling you, not me.
She's showing 3 grand in the last week.
Oh, that's good news.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't get that because I don't know that, so.
Thanks. That's good.
Good, or maybe we don't need to do that. Little update on that cooperative work experience project where we're gonna have the kids build those. I think that's gonna fall through, unfortunately. Maybe there are some other options for those kids to get that experience, and I'm just on my own, I'm gonna visit with Kenya more about that.
Okay.
I talked to Brent Ekstrom at Lewis and Clark Development about housing. Talon Metals or nickel is going to be, as you all know, and I was at the signing, but you know, they say, well, there's gonna be 150 people. If we get 50 of them in Mercer County, I think we'll be lucky, right? Because many of them won't live here.
Right.
So we do need some housing. And I asked him about that, and he said, well, no, there's other players, and they won't deal in small communities. They want $100 million deals.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to look at something else.
Yeah.
Talked a little bit with Larry Oswald from MDU about the pipeline. Sonic Temple, I got a call about that one. Bad roof, black mold. They'd like to make a deal with HCD to give it to us.
Hmm.
So
With where?
it's the Masonic Temple, you know where the
Oh,
house is?
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. I can't think that I'm gonna recommend to my board that we take that. That sounds like a big problem.
Yeah.
And we all know that Beulah, well, not everybody knows, Fuel lost their motor vehicle department. I'm gonna ask my board if we wanna pursue getting them in Hazen if it's possible.
That'd be good.
So, and then we're gonna be getting a couple requests for flex space.
Okay.
Flex space funding. So some things happening, which is good for our community. We maybe need to work out a little bit more housing. Daryl Laurel said he's getting a few more calls on people wanting to build. So that's good too.
Get their street fixed.
Pardon?
Get their
No,
sewer fixed.
right? Why are they waiting on that?
I'm afraid we're gonna get it back.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mark?
Unless you have some questions.
Only thing I have is driving to town today from the north. We heard anything on the crushed asphalt guys that are thinking of coming into town, or do we know anything that's, we should reach out again, please? And it's stretch, it's gonna be touching Bodine's house pretty soon.
Yeah, I still have the gentleman's phone number that was talking about coming here last year. I can give them
Yeah.
a call, see if they're on the road or.
Please do, let's get that cleaned up and piled up. Okay, down to correspondence, North Dakota Water Resource District Association joint water meeting. Anybody at the casino in Devil's Lake? July 9 and 10. It's there if you want to go.
I'm not aware of us ever sending anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, down to 12A, resolution establishing auditor's bond.
Annual process, as I said, in notice, I put a little more information in here as to what the boundaries are. 25% would put us at 674,000 for the bond, and according to the Century Code, it's preceding year, you can do whichever you prefer, the 674,000 or the 250,000, whichever is least, that's all up to you. And how you want to proceed, I will notify the state bonding.
What have we normally done, Monty?
The last 8 years, we've done 250,000.
Have you had an issue with that, work with that, is that what it is?
Okay.
Okay.
Could you explain to me what this means, like in fifth grade?
Basically, the auditors bonded because they have access to the funds, so in case there's any issues during our audits or anything that points toward possible malfeasance, the bonding fund helps back that up in 6 years. More or less. Yeah.
Which one does the board like to do?
You said we were $250 last 8 years.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve bond of $250,000.
Yeah, motion by Folkerts. Second by Hack, discussion. Casey?
So I just have a question about the 25% thing there. What,
That's 25%.
So is that total?
Yeah, erosion control, right?
Yeah, you have to take all 365 days. That's the total of the balance every day. And then it's divided by the average, so you divide that number by 365, and then it's 25% of that.
Okay. So then the bond then at $250,000, I guess, where's that, I guess, play into that 25, I guess, percent?
It's just a matter of, the bond is set at equal to 25% of the average amount of money subject to the auditor's control during the preceding year, or 250,000, whichever.
Okay.
Forward in there.
All right. I understand.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Folkerts. Hack.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye, motion carried. Public comment? Okay. Approval of the bills.
Make a motion to approve the bills as presented.
Motion by Folkerts.
Second.
Second by Hack. Discussion of the bills. Roll call.
Folkerts. Hack.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye. Motion approved, pay bills, and meeting is adjourned.